So we have another story here on Hillary Clinton's secrecy and corruption. The AP reports an Associated Press review of the official calendar Hillary Clinton kept as Secretary of State identified at least 75 meetings with longtime political donors, Clinton Foundation contributors, and corporate and other outside interests that were not recorded or omitted the names of those she met. All right, so understand that as Secretary of State, you get all your stuff is logged because you're Secretary of State, kind of an important position. So they found that, and they only got this because the press sued the government for access to the records under the Freedom of Information Act. So they sue them, and then they find out, oh, hold on now. All these meetings, at least 75 meetings with political donors and corporate people and people for the Clinton Foundation, they were omitted from the records. Well, why would you do that? Then you get into the really sticky conversation, and to me, it's the only logical conclusion that one can reach from this. She probably met with these people because she knew that eventually she would run for president, and she's soliciting money and donations or letting them know as to what's going to happen moving forward. And that is a clear violation of the few remaining election laws that we have left. Because understand the way it works. This is what Jeb Bush did too before he ran. So he would drop hints and just basically almost say he's going to run without saying he's running. And so he'd go around and raise money for his super PAC. So you go around and you say, I am seriously considering running for president, which is why I'm here in Iowa giving a speech, the first place where they vote. And, hey, I'm not saying anything, but if you want to go ahead and help out the campaign, just know the place you can give it right over there. So Jeb Bush did that. It was obviously a way to skirt the few remaining election laws we have left. And Hillary Clinton didn't want all of these attempts and meetings with political donors to be recorded because then there would be red flags, and there would be red flags because, hey, where there's smoke, there's fire. And, those meetings, something went down in those meetings, and something went down that she didn't want people to hear, or else they would have been recorded. I mean, think about it. If you're Secretary of State, okay, just record the meeting, and then when somebody asks me, hey, what did you meet with that person for? You say, I don't know, I met with them for whatever, policy, this, that, certain contracts, certain deals that involve the State Department. You could just say that, and there's nothing wrong with that or illegal about that. I mean, there might be some ethical issues with having corporate leaders in the government so close anyway. In fact, there is. But no law would be violated, and you would have the transparency of saying, hey, look, the meeting was recorded, so I'm not trying to hide anything. But you did try to hide it. You omitted it from the records. The only reason why you would omit it from the record, why you would leave it off the records, is that something's going on that you don't want people to know about. And what would that thing be? Hey, I'm running for president, and that's a sure thing, so I'm just letting you know in advance, if you want to raise the money, you want to help out here or there, hey, this is what you can do to help. That would be a violation of election law. Now, unfortunately, even the few remaining election laws we have are not enforced because the way the system is set up, it's permanent gridlock. You have just the right number of Democrats and Republicans where if the Democrats violate the law, the Democrats say, well, we're not going to move forward on this one. If the Republicans violate the law, the Republicans say, well, we're not going to move forward on this one. So it's just a free-for-all. It's anarchy when it comes to the fundraising and when it comes to bribery and corruption. It's just open season. So effectively, our representative democracy and constitutional republic is no longer that. It's just an oligarchy. And understand this in the context of the last story we just did. So in the last story we did, we had Hillary Clinton going to an extra. They don't even do the show anymore, or they're stopping Hamilton, the show Hamilton, the Broadway show. They're doing an extra show just so Hillary Clinton can raise money. It costs $100,000 to sit next to her. It costs $2,700 just to get into the building. So now, what does that show you? Now it's like, well, I'm already running, and there's certain ways that you can raise the money, which doesn't violate election law. So it's balls to the wall and show everybody what you're doing. So she's fully embraced the legalized bribery and corruption, and she ain't even trying to hide it anymore, which shows her smugness and her arrogance. Back when she was Secretary of State, she was like, okay, we got to try to hide this. Because, again, you would be violating election law if you were to do it in that context and in that scenario. So it shows you the way this political machine operates. They're always on the edge of the law. They're always on the edge of the law, if not violating it and covering it up. So in the case of the State Department, if she's talking to donors and saying I'm going to run and trying to raise money, that would violate the law. That's why, hey, it's omitted from the records. What are you going to do? Lack of evidence isn't evidence, right? Hey, it could just be a coincidence. You don't know. You can't prove it in a court of law. There's a reasonable doubt, isn't there? But now that you're running, now everybody knows you're running and we know what the laws are, hey, let's just skirt those laws in the smuggest way possible, even though obviously you're still doing bribery, and let's go to this Hamilton show. It's sick, man. It's sick. And they've put the American people in an impossible position. You vote for this absolute shill to the establishment, business as usual, status quo, through and through. Or you vote for the monstrous xenophobe and bigot who is borderline fascist, if not outright fascist, and has such a thin skin that you can't trust him with nukes and an army.